right, so I'm going to be talking about the Netflix plan and the TFLX plan. So pay attention to all the details. As everything is not written on the charts, but key numbers specifically, and then I will expand upon them. There's also some spelling mistakes, so I'll just explain what the hell I'm saying. Just the key numbers are really written here with some of the explanation. So Netflix is set up to test 150 to 152 quickly, as I think the stock's at a key pivot point again, and we should be able to move right now very quickly. So that's why February 03 calls could be used. Again, confirmation is key. Okay, so make sure to listen to all the details. So Netflix needs to break above 143.50 on some good action volume. Good action volume is 600K on a 10-minute chart. All right, so I want to see volume still come in, and 600K is a really good indication for the stock, especially we show power right away in the morning. This is a stock that you've got to be very comfortable using options with. This is a very quick moving stock, and you have to make quick decisions. If we happen to get confirmation, you're probably looking at about a 3-point swing necessarily needed as a stop in this stock. This stock does move very quickly, and it doesn't mean that we can get in exactly at these numbers. We have to pay higher. But you know what? If this confirms properly, this stock is destined to push higher. We're right at a buy zone, but I want to see follow through. I think follow through will be key. It might not do so with volume, and so here's what will happen. The secondary thing: if we happen to not get the volume and we're getting up to 153.5, then we'll probably have to look. We'll look for some basing of 143.5 and look to get into the 144 to 144.5 area. Okay, this stock here moves very quickly, but we might be able to get in within that 143.5 to 144.5 area. The key is that we want to see some sort of stability. We don't want the stock to quickly pop up higher. There's no volume, and then they might fade it, and then it can never recover, right? So it's one of those things where you do want to see the right kind of strength to take advantage of this. And recall that you do need at least a 3-point swing. So what's that mean? Well, if you're getting in around 143.5, whatever entry you're looking for, I think that you need a stop at if Netflix happens to confirm but breaks below 140. I think that then it would be a bummer trade. It may not work out. They might need more time. You might have to take a loss and then have to look for a re-entry. Right? Again, you have to be, if you're not very comfortable taking on. This is very quick action on Netflix. This is a trade that we're going to get in. As soon as you make 100% gains, you want to get out. Reduce your position and then hold runners, okay? Because we're looking to be out of this stock as quick as possible, right? As soon as we get into targets, you want to take a lot of your profits off and then hold. If it's acting well, it could go beyond 152. But this is a good 150, 200% gainer quickly if we get the right kind of action. If we don't want to confirm, they want to pull this back and they want to consolidate it, great, we'll have to come up with another plan. So keep that in mind, but this is something that should happen soon. I like to see confirmation happen between Monday and Tuesday at the latest. So let's go take a look at the options here. All right, so here's the options for Netflix, and then Netflix closed at 142.45 on January 27th. So we're going to look at the 145 calls. You can see these are really cheap. You can get in. You can control 100 shares of Netflix for about $118. Of course, a confirmation is going to be paying more. You'll be probably paying about $1.40 to $1.60. I'm not sure what it'll be, but it'll be within that range, we'll say. If you want to use the, by the way, if you want to use the, people want to use the 146. These are trading really well, as well as the 144. So these are the targets you want to get. Options you probably want to use. Even the 143s. Okay, just keep in mind what the prices are. And so for people who don't understand, if you buy an option, well, anyways, you know what? If you don't understand how to buy an option in this case, or what options are, I'd pay attention. But I'll quickly explain that for every option you buy, you're controlling 100 shares of Netflix for $118. We'll say if you buy it at 118, so $118 you're controlling 100 shares. So if you get 100% of that $118, you doubled your money, right? So if you buy 10 of those, right, and it's costing you an average, we'll say 1,200, and you double your money on those options, you double the 1,200 to you made your 1,200 to 2,400, right? All right, so that's a quickie on options, but it's simply you need to buy. You want to buy an option because you're expecting higher prices quickly. And in this case, the stock moves like a machine. So I mean, for all we know, we could hit those targets in a day, on the same very day. But 10-point move for something like Netflix is nothing. Can be done in a couple of days. That's be slow. Okay, but with these options, if we have the right confirmation, that's plenty of time. If it's going to work, it's going to work, right? And then if anything, you have to take a small loss if it doesn't work out. This is how it is with these type of options. It should be pretty smooth if we get the right confirmation. That's why I'm explaining the details. All right, so that's the Netflix trade. So again, we're going to look for the volume and pressure above 143.50. If we don't get that, we're going to watch for some stability above 143.5. Look for power towards 144 to 144.5. All right. I don't want a simple gap up. If it gaps up, we want to see how it holds. You obviously could have to pay up even higher. All right. Let's go take a look at Tesla. All right, so here's the Tesla plan. This is again a weekly options plan. It's a very quick moving. But this stock is set up really nicely. It's very strong, and I want to make a quick point here. 254 is going to be a key pivot point. We'll say this for Monday, anyways. That you don't want the stock going below 254 for very long, as this should continue showing power. It's following a particular key point that I'm watching, and in a way, they've pulled this into a nice flag here, and it looks like we're able to make a move. And again, let's take a look at the direction here. So 270, 275 is very possible. This stock can really move. If we don't get the movement, if we don't get the confirmation, they might chop this around, and we'll know. I mean, we need to show power. One thing is, I'll tell you about Tesla. You need a lot more power in Tesla without a fail. With Netflix, we can get away with it. They could move it without the volume because of the situation, how it's set up. But this stock here, we need to see the continued volume and power and pressure to continue these smooth moves. We are kind of like in a frozen rope type of stock. The stock's pulling back, but it's able to move higher. I mean, if you think of the reason why we even pulled back these few days here was this move here, right? So it might want to continue again. I mean, to get to 270, it should be. It's going to be something that can be done in a day or two, right? So these weekly calls, we get the confirmation between Monday and Tuesday, and we get the right kind of action. These targets are not a problem. So Tesla set up to test 270 to 275. The February 03 260 or 265 calls could be used. I will be explaining some important key facts to trade. So pay attention. So what I was explaining in the beginning is that 245 is a strong key area for the stock. 254. So as we start trading above 254, right? That's an area where you're looking at, perhaps a stop in case when you do get confirmation. You're looking around. How do we handle? How long do they stay below? So you need at least it can't be just exactly 254, but 252 would be an area of a stop area where if we can't hold that, if you happen to confirm, you want to get out, right? It's most likely, if we're going to confirm, neither they're going to push this up and it could consolidate, okay, and then pop. So let's take a look at this part here. So Tesla needs to break above 255 on some good action volume. Good action volume is 700K on a 10-minute chart at the least. So like I said, the 10-minute chart is, this is a very quick moving stock, and a 10-minute chart is very helpful in determining the volume. If we get some good volume and we push through 255, that's an automatic entry. At the same time, it's the type of thing where we don't get the volume we want, then I would look for basing above 255. So basing above 255, and look for power towards 256 to 256 to 257. You need volume and price. We just can't go up on low volume. This stock can do that, but you do need the volume. If not, what they could do is chop the stock. And with weekly options, we don't have you can hold a bit of chop, but not too much chop, right? Because this stock can do a lot in a day, so don't kid yourself. I can tell you that um, I got out a little early on the last move in TSLA. Sometimes you have to go into a little loss to make a big gain. I actually missed out on 300% gains because I didn't want to take a bit of a loss. Tesla is the kind of stock that if we're in such a strong trend that if they happen to pull back, reasonable. In other words, as long as this keeps trading above 254, I wouldn't have to worry, right? But you need a little bit more of a stop leeway. So 252, no matter where you enter, is about where you want to keep holding the stock, and because this thing can charge at any time, right? So if we get the right kind of volume, it makes it easy. So keep that in mind what I'm saying. Okay, because if you're not familiar with my style, you can just pay attention to see how things go. But confirmation is key for the stock. It's a very quick mover, and you have to understand what to do. I can tell you that it is ready to move. However, what I'm telling you, unlike Netflix, I think Netflix is an easier trade. Tesla requires a lot. We need a combination of strong price action and volume for this to work, or they might need more time, or we could then use the next week out options. But in case we do confirm, here's a plan. So let's go take a look at the options, people. So here's the options for Tesla, February the 3rd. This is the close, January 27th, 252.95. So let's take a look here. We are looking at the 260 calls. Okay, so the 260 calls, you can see there's a lot of good trading happening here. Look at this. Look at the lot of good volume here happening. A lot of trading happened in Tesla. For the 260 calls, and again, 100 shares you're controlling for about $160, right? $162 per 100 shares you're controlling per option, which is okay. And then of course the 265 is even cheaper. So I mean, let's say you took the 265 calls and you're getting in around 80, you're getting in around 90 cents, right? This stock can go against your options by 50%. In order to make money in Tesla, you need to be able to handle 50% swing in your option prices. I'll give you an example. The options, actually, I think I would have had to handle at least a 30% swing against my options on my last trade in TSLA, but it netted 300% gains on the options. So you got to understand the mathematics here, right? You risk 40, 30, 40, 50% in option prices. So you got to buy the options you can afford, right? But you can gain that 300% or 100, whatever, it's possible, if not more, right? In this case, I don't know about 300%, but I'm looking at about 100% on the low end to about 200% on the 200% on the higher end for TSLA. So I mean, these are great options. You can use you neither use the 260s or the 265 on what you can afford. So someone only wants to buy, example, 4 options. You may be able to get into, for example, not bad. Like you can get into, Tesla for about, let's say, it could probably be cheaper than that, but let's say we'll make it just to make it easy, $400. You're controlling 400 shares, but which is 4 options, and that doubles or triples for you, right? Or it does a 200%. So now your 400 turns to 1,200, right? This is an example for people on small cards. Of course, someone with a larger account wants to do 10. Wants to do 10 or 20 options. You name it, right? There's way more money, right? You just multiply the facts. Or you want to go, of course, with a bigger account. You want to go with a closer out. You want to use the 260s and buying 10 or 20 options, or 30, whatever size, how much you want. But remember that this could go against your position temporarily, and that these are more risky. But I'm going to show you. I'll show you a reason why you want to listen to me. Let's go take a look at my. If you like my plan, subscribe to Power Target Trades. I'm on YouTube here. You see this symbol here, Sandro Power Trigger Trade. At the end of the video, you're going to see it over here. Click on that circle. It looks like that, and it'll automatically subscribe. It'll give you the option to really do it through the video. If you happen to not understand how to do it or not have an issue doing it, just come to Power Target Trades and do it manually. But yeah, you can subscribe right into the video where you see that circle. So let me show you a great option plan that I made. A little, that's similar to this, okay? Except that it was with Google's weekly options. We're gonna go to my website. Here's my website. Go to here, and I'll give you to my bring you to my website. Let's go take a look at that. So here's my website, Power Target Trades. Isn't that great? Look at that. But what you want to see is this video here. This is a very documented video showing you the options and the plan before, and then the option prices after what happened from the trigger and all that. So this is a really great educational video. Check it out. You know, these were this 300% gains in Google. This, of course, it was set up and it was very smooth. It's not always like that, but it was very smooth. You can make money, 300% gains in the options in 3 days. Check out this video. Check out my site for more. There's a lot of great video. This is a great video as well on the SPY. So there you have, people. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe over here. It's going to come over here. The Sandro Power Target Trade Circle is going to come over here. Thanks for listening. Like the video.